All right, welcome to the makeover is in 11 days and I'm freaking out. I'm Molly. I am the operations manager here and one of your show secretaries. And this is Rayna, a new face, I'm sure. Your other show secretary and the program manager. Tonight we will be answering any of your last burning questions and going through the newsletter that just came hot off the press to your inbox. This will include anything you need to know about stabling, scheduling, schooling times, where you can park, all of that good stuff. This webinar will be recorded as usual and uploaded to YouTube for anyone that can't join us. But for anyone that's here live, you guys have the added benefit of getting your questions answered in real time. There is an important note for contacting us. We are getting ready to pack up and head to Kentucky. We are both located in Maryland, so we will be freighting out and heading to Kentucky this next weekend, so on October 4th. Until then, please continue emailing us at the Secretariat, the RRP email. As you guys know, everyone is very well behaved and always emails us anyway. If you need any assistance with anything makeover related after October 3rd, you are permitted to text me, Molly, at the number in the newsletter.
I just realized it's going to be weird. The recording's going to be weird. You unmute yourself. I'm going to mute myself. Sorry, guys. Continue.
Is your face front and center?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. You're just the floating talking head, not talking head. Okay. So again, if you guys need any assistance after October 3rd, you are permitted to text me at the phone number that is in the newsletter that just came out. This phone number is also going to be pasted all over the Kentucky Horse Park. It will be on every single stall card. So I'm the person that you contact if there's an issue with your stall. There is a note in red in your newsletter that says messaging staff on social media platforms such as Facebook is not an appropriate way to get in contact us. That still stands. Please don't reach out to us on our social media platforms. For the most part, those are all for personal use. We do not check those usually during makeover week. We are not on our phones for anything but business use. So please follow the means that we have outlined for you so that we can get any urgent matters dealt with. When you are contacting me, you can call or text. Text is usually easier so that if I'm already on the phone with someone, I have your information there. Please give me your number, details about what's going on, and if you're at a stall or it's a horse problem, please give me your stall number and information as well. And if there's anything going on where you're not getting a response within a certain amount of time, feel free to hit me up again. All right, moving on from that, you guys should be super excited to be able to text me because I'm super cool. Awards party. This year, the awards party is free to attend. You guys don't need to purchase tickets ahead of time. The party will be at the covered arena this year, so we're going to be a little more centrally located. It's going to be on Saturday. So after our championship day on October 11th, we're going to be at the covered arena in the evening for food, drinks, partying. There will be awards, obviously. There will be the brewery trucks there for the Barrels and Brews events that evening. They'll be hanging out. Then there'll also be food trucks and stuff joining us after, and you guys will just be buying up food if you want food, but no tickets are needed to be purchased ahead of time to attend. The competitor party will include a ceremony to recognize special award winners and prelim discipline winners, top juniors, top amateurs, and top teams. We do contact you ahead of time if you're going to be presented with an award and ask that you let us know if you're going to be there or not, just so that we're aware. And if you guys can't come, no worries. We hold on to your ribbons for a certain amount of time. Volunteers are needed. Remember, now that you guys have your ride times, since everyone is given a ride time in every discipline, you guys are now free to sign up. So anytime that you aren't riding, if you can come pick up a shift, send your friends, your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your kids, send them down, sign them up. We have shifts available, so you guys can sign up ahead of time if you know when you're going to be free. If not, you can always walk up and talk to our volunteer coordinator, Christian, and ask her if there's anything that you can do to help out for an hour or two. I'm sure there will be. We have a t-shirt, a hat, snacks or lunch if you're there for a whole day, and of course, 20% off in the RRP store. All of our merch is super awesome, so that's a good way to get a discount on some merch. Would you like to go ahead and go for makeover clinics?
Yes, you want to meet yourself? We'll just
Yep,
keep
well,
doing
we're
this.
just gonna swap around.
Okay. All right. So, makeover clinics. As you guys should know by now, we are hosting clinics on Friday. So that is after prelim competition ends and before the discipline championships in dressage, competitive trail, show hunters, and show jumpers. That's all taking place on Friday, October 10th. More information on the clinics can be found on our website. That's linked in the newsletter as well. This is a super great opportunity for anyone that is not going to end up making it to the championships to get another go and to get some feedback directly from our judges. It is our judges that will be teaching the clinics. It's also a great opportunity to try something new. Let's say you wanted to do competitive trail, or you've never tried competitive trail before. We have some intro clinics. We have some schooling sessions. Let's say your horse wasn't quite ready to show over fences. You can do a jumping clinic. Really a great opportunity to just end the week on a positive note, especially maybe prelim competition doesn't go your way. It's essentially a redo. Right now, registrations are closed. They will reopen through the trainer portal on October 5th. So that is next Sunday. And they will close at 6:30 p.m. on October 9th. So that is the following Thursday. That is the end of prelim competition. There will be a $15 late registration fee for those of you that are signing up for clinics the week of the makeover and didn't sign up for them prior to September 5th. Horses and trainers that qualify for the discipline championships will not be permitted to participate in Friday's clinic. So if you've already registered and paid for the clinic and then you get accepted into the championships, you qualify for the championships, amazing, congratulations. Due to one, time constraints, because we're going to get into the championship briefing and jogs and everything later, you're not going to have time to participate in the clinic. And two, conflict of interest. It is in our rule book that you cannot train with any of the judges. I think it's like 2 weeks or something prior to the makeover. So obviously, if you make it into the championships and they're going to be judging you again in the championships, you can't take a lesson with them literally less than 24 hours before. So if you make it in the championships, you will get a refund. It will be minus like a $5 processing fee. But other than that, you're going to get prize money for being in the championship, and it will be far more than $5. So it should all work out pretty swell for you there. But you will get a refund. You just will not be able to participate. But the rest of you can, and it will be a great time. Let's see. We're going to move on to health documentation. All horses, whether they're makeover competitors or non-compete horses, must meet our health documentation requirements. I talked a lot about this in Tuesday's arrival exam webinar that is posted on YouTube. Go watch it. I'm not going to get into all the details, but that's Coggins, Health Cert, and proof of EHV1 vaccine. Check the rule book for what the appropriate forms of documentation are, what the dates that those must be done by. Know that you have to provide proof of vaccination done by a veterinarian. You cannot administer your own vaccines and then provide us with like a Tractor Supply receipt. And one more thing about that I will talk about, if you have fall shots scheduled between this past Tuesday and when you're going to be at the makeover, do not have your vet administer EHV1. We are past that point. It was September 22nd was the cutoff for EHV1 vaccines. If you have one administered after, even if it was administered during the appropriate timeline, if you have them vaccinated again after that timeline, you are outside the 15-day window. You will not be allowed to compete. You will not be allowed to stay on Kentucky Horse Park property. So please take that seriously. Check in the rule book about that. Upload all of your documents in the portal ahead of time. I'm going to take a second here and share my screen and show you guys how to do that. So with my multiple tabs open, let's see if I can find the correct one. All right. And Molly, can you see the homepage of our website?
Yep, now I can.
All right, I am logged in as Aubrey. Thanks, Aubrey. I didn't ask your permission. Um, if you go to the trainer portal, something that you all should be very familiar with by now, scroll on down to the My Entries table right here. And you are going to use this Actions column drop-down menu, hit Upload View Documents, hit Go. And you're going to go ahead and upload your documents. You're going to choose the file, tell us what type of file it is, and hit upload. And all of your current documents will come, like you'll see them down here. So if you think it didn't work or whatever, refresh the page, scroll down, you'll be able to tell if it actually did upload. So we're about to get into that in more detail in a little bit, but let me not share my screen. Hold on. I'm struggling tonight, guys. Okay. The most important thing to remember is you need to have your health documents uploaded before you come to check in. Molly's going to talk about that a little bit more later. But they don't need to be uploaded right this second. Maybe you haven't gotten your health certificate done yet. That's fine. Before you come to rider check-in, get those health documents uploaded in the portal. We will not check you in if they are not there. All right. It looks like someone has their hand raised in the attendees. Please. Yes, Mullers.
I realized I forgot a very important sentiment during our opening remarks, which was we will get to all of your questions throughout.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yes, please put any questions you have in the Q&A chat. We will stop occasionally to answer questions, but mostly we are going to cover all questions at the end because ideally we will answer your question at some point in this webinar. So if you have a question, throw it in the Q&A chat. Be patient. We promise we won't ignore you. Just as we get through this, we'll stop every now and again and answer some questions. All right. So also with health documentations, in order to pass the arrival exam, your horse must have a microchip that is registered with the Jockey Club. I talk about this in the arrival exam webinar. As much as I want to step on that soapbox, that's all I'm going to say. Get it done if you haven't gotten it done already. All right. Catch rider and scratch forms. In the same place that we just looked at in Aubrey's trainer portal, you can use that same drop-down menu and look for request a catch rider or submit a scratch form. If you need a catch rider, maybe you're injured, sick, you know, a work thing came up, whatever it might be. We do allow for catch riders. We have very strict rules regarding catch riding. You can't just have your trainer who isn't an accepted trainer ride your horse. You can't just have your student ride your horse. It needs to be someone who is an accepted 2025 makeover trainer. They don't need to have a current active entry. It is fine if they were accepted in the beginning of the year and have since withdrawn their entry for whatever reason. As long as they were accepted for 2025, that is requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 is that if you are competing as an individual entry, they must have the same trainer status as you. So if you're competing as a professional, a junior, or an amateur, the person catch riding for you must be the same status. Pros can catch ride for pros, amateurs can catch ride for amateurs, juniors can catch ride for juniors. That is because we have special awards based off of juniors and amateurs. For teams, doesn't matter the status. It can be professional, junior, amateur. That's the beauty of teams. Anyone can catch ride for you if you need a catch rider on a team entry. That is requirement number 2. Requirement number 3 is that they must not already be associated with more than 2 horses. Everyone has a max of 3 horses that they can compete at the makeover. So if the person you want to catch ride for you already has 3 horses that they're competing this week, that person's not going to work. If they've got 2, great. Your horse can be their third. Make sure there's no conflicting ride times because we're not going to be able to adjust that for you. But submit the catch rider form through the portal. That just needs to be done anytime before your horse steps in the competition venue for the discipline that they need a catch rider for. Once you submit the catch rider form, you are not permitted to complete any of the remaining competition on your horse. Only the catch rider can do that. So Again, plenty of time. You can do that up until the very last minute. You don't need to do that now. Please don't submit a catch rider form if you don't know if you want one yet. Wait until you know for sure that you want a catch rider. Plenty of information in the rule book, plenty of information here. As always, you can email me, secretary@therrp.org, anytime up until end of day next Friday. After that, you're going to start texting your questions to Molly, like Molly talked about. Before that, don't you dare text her. She'll tell me and I'll squawk at you. Don't be blowing up her phone before we've left the office. But once we leave the office, that's definitely going to be the best way to get in contact with us. Or if you're on site, come to the show office. I promise I'm usually a friendly face and I will happily answer your questions in person.
She's nicer at the makeover, guys.
I am nicer at the makeover. It's all that adrenaline. Anyway, scratches. If you have to scratch for any reason, do so as soon as possible. Use the scratch form in the portal. If you are scratching day of, so let's say like, yeah, day of or in the wee hours the night before, what I want you to do is submit the catch rider form and then have yourself or a representative go to your ring steward for your discipline and say, hey, I just want to let you know that bridle number X is a scratch for today. If you do not submit a scratch form and you are a no call, no show, you will be assessed a $100 no show fee. That is something that we take seriously. You will not be able to submit a new application. You will not be able to receive any awards, prize money, whatever, until that $100 no-show fee is paid. So please just submit a catch rider form. And if it's day of, go talk to your steward and scratch form. Sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. If you got a scratch, submit a scratch form. Do so before your ride. If it's day of, go inform your steward because day sheets have already been printed. They're going to be expecting you to show up. So pretty please communicate and get those in so that we don't have to assess a fee. All right, switching gears here a little bit. I hope at this point you all are familiar with the Make the Makeover fundraising campaign. This is a really great opportunity to earn back some of your entry fees. We know what a trying time it is right now and every penny counts. So more information is in this newsletter and every single other newsletter I've sent you guys this year. All you got to do is create your own fundraiser through Give Lively, and you're raising $1,000 for the Retired Racehorse Project. And if you raise $1,000, you get $300 back from us. So it's a great way to support the charitable mission of the organization. It's a great way to raise some money for yourself. We have tons of tips and tricks on how to reach that $1,000. And I believe you have until like Friday the 10th to finish your fundraising. If not, maybe even up until awards party. Check the Give Lively page for that. I can only store so much information up here. All right. Are you doing stall decorating?
Sure.
All right, let's swap. Oh, okay. I threw that page out.
Okay. Real quick, I'm going to answer one question because I know we aren't going to get to it. Or it's not going to be something that we cover later on. Dress code for the awards party. There is no dress code. I'm going to say no shoes, no shirt, no service. Please cover yourself with something. There will be a variety of dress. Some people will dress up, ladies in dresses, men and in their nice jeans and button downs, but otherwise, some people are still in riding pants. So it's really up to you and what you feel comfortable in. By all means, wear a Halloween costume if that makes you happy, because that would make me happy. And if you have any more particular questions about that, feel free to email us. Alrighty. And if you have anyone else has asked questions, don't worry. If I'm not answering it now, it's because we're going to get to it. We are going to go ahead on to silent auction donations. As you guys are fully aware, if you've been with us before, the silent auction is a very meaningful fundraiser for us every year. It's expanded and grown a lot year by year. We have a lot of really interesting items, racing memorabilia, experiences, really cool things that have been donated. So if you yourself or someone you know has something that they'd like to donate, please do so. The details are right here. Follow the link, fill out the donation form. If you would like to bring an item to donate in person, you may do so at the RRP tent on Vendor Row between 10 a.m. and noon on October 7th. Donations are tax deductible. Moving along, we're going to go over Makeover Marketplace. The online catalog is live now and actively being promoted on social media. You guys are up. It's up to you guys on how and when you engage with your potential buyers and adopters. So you can schedule based off of your availability. The Murphy Ring will be available as a dedicated trial space for the marketplace this year. You can see where that is on the venue map if you are not familiar. Potential buyers and adopters must sign a waiver. So if you guys have people coming up to you that are interested, or have someone coming out to the horse park even that are interested in riding your horse, they have to go up to the info desk, the info booth in the RRP tent to fill out a waiver. It'll take them 2 minutes. They do it on an iPad, they get a wristband, and then they can go and hop on your horse. You guys are all familiar with liability waivers. That's all it is. And once they have the wristband indicating that they've signed the waiver, they are cleared to go ahead and hop on your horse. Please make sure you do that so you don't get fussed at by any stewards, because they are well within their right to do so. Once you have scheduled your rides, hopefully you make a sale or an adoption, we'd love to hear about it. Feel free to take a picture and post about it and tag us. Also report your sale through the trainer portal. It's very essential to our data collection that you do so, and it is also required of you to report the sales of your horses in order to sign up for any of our programs in the future years. So do that now so that you don't have to do it in the future. Next up, we have stall decorating and any other social events. This year, the stall decorating contest is going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a potluck style barn night on Friday, October 10th. Judging will begin at 5 p.m. Voting is going to be done by the public, so you guys are going to be voting on yourselves. You will need to sign up before 5 p.m. October 9th, linked right here in your newsletter. Bring a snack, bring a potluck, bring some drinks if you want. Walk around the stalls, check out your friends, check out your other competitors. Okay, easy. Check out the stalls, see what they look like. There is no theme this year, so it's a free-for-all. I'm really excited. Please wow me. We'd like to see what you guys can come up with. Go crazy, go wild, not too wild. But you guys are definitely encouraged to be as creative as you want and really, really run with it this year. The winner will be announced at the competitor awards party on Saturday evening. All right. Do we need to get into anything else on our social calendar at this time?
No, but if you switch back to me, I will make a couple. Okay. Just with the social calendar, kind of going back to the party, and hopefully I'm not repeating what you said. One change to keep in mind is barrels and brews, which normally takes place in previous years prior to the change to the championship format, has taken place on Thursday night during barrel runs for prelim competition. That has now been moved to championship barrel runs, and that'll be right before the party on the concourse in the covered arena. So there will be brewery trucks there starting at 3 p.m. And again, free to attend while our championship barrel racers are doing their runs. And then the party will start from there. Food trucks, I think, open at about 5 p.m. Again, free to attend. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is that the Barrels and Brews schedule has shifted. That is now kind of a pre-party to the awards party. So that is one thing I will add about the social calendar, but definitely check out the social calendar that's linked in this newsletter. We have a lot of great things going on throughout the week. All right. And I just tossed away a piece of paper that I needed, so I'm going to pick that back up. All right. Arrival at the horse park and parking. Very, very important to keep in mind that your horses cannot move into their stalls prior to noon on Monday, October 6th. I do not want to see a trailer pull into the horse park before noon. You cannot set up your stalls before noon. You cannot do anything before noon. We do not have access to those stalls. This is not us trying to be difficult. Like, this is our contract with the Kentucky Horse Park. They need time to clean the stalls from the show before us. They have given us noon. That is when you all have access to your stalls. So if you want to set up your stalls before your horse gets there, that's fine. You're going to set them up at noon and then bring your horse later. Other than that, as long as it's after 12 p.m. on Monday, October 6th, you can come anytime you please. You can come super early Tuesday morning, super late Monday night. That's fine. If you're coming outside of check-in hours, we might not be there to help you. However, you can have access to your stalls at any time after noon on Monday. That's perfectly fine. There is general parking at the horse park is free, which is great. That it wasn't like that up until last year, so no fees to park there. But please note the identified areas. I've linked it in the newsletter. It's on our website. We have a great venue map that shows you where you can park. Do not park your trailers, your cars, whatever, anywhere other than a designated parking lot. While you can pull up to the barns to unload your stalls and set up, you got to then take your trailer, your car, whatever vehicle you're using right out of there and take it to its designated parking space. The Kentucky Park Police are very strict. They will issue you a ticket. That is not something we can get you guys out of. And those tickets are hefty. So please park in the general parking lot. There is some designated competitor parking as well. Don't park at the barns, please. I beg of you. But take a look at that map. There's also drop trailer parking on there, and that is something to keep in mind. Dropped trailer parking. So if you are stabling at the horse park for the week, you are not just shipping in for the day and working off your trailer over in day trailer parking. You will need to leave your trailer at dropped trailer parking. That is very, very far away from the barns. So if you're planning on not using a tack stall, and going back and forth from your trailer parked over in drop trailer parking and your stall to get extra grain, tack, whatever it might be, I would highly suggest getting a golf cart. And even with a golf cart, it is a hike. You also might want to get into the trainers group and see if anyone's willing to share their tack stall with you. I did see a relevant question here that was, is it okay to not have a tack stall and just keep our tack in our trailers if we're camping on the grounds? Yep, that's up to you. If you're going to have your tack over on the campgrounds, that's perfectly fine. Again, a bit of a hike, so hopefully you've got a golf cart or whatever else, because I wouldn't, you're going to have to, if you're taking a car, you're going to have to take your car over to the barn, drop your stuff up, then take your car back to parking and walk on over. So it can be a bit of a hike, but you're not required to have a tack stall by any means. You can keep stuff outside of your stalls. I wouldn't recommend doing that overnight. Things can get taken. Tack stall is really the best way to do it. If you want to do a locked tack trunk, you can do that as well. Just make sure you're keeping the actual aisleways clear and the doors to the horses' stalls are accessible. All right, let's see what else here. Like I said, you're welcome to pull into the barns to unload, but you cannot remain parked there for any extended period. Another thing to note about the barns is your stall assignment is the stall that you see is going to their stall number. Wow. That you have, the first 2 digits will indicate what barn you are in. So if you had stall assignment 1047, if that was your stall number, you are in barn 10, stall 47. And if you have any issues with your stall when you arrive, Molly's number, which is in here, will also be on your stall. So any nails that need to be removed, a door that doesn't work, whatever it might be, if it is unsafe, do not put your horse in the stall if it is unsafe for a horse to be in there. Send Molly a text with your name, your stall number, and a description of the issue. She will get in contact with maintenance and hopefully they will fix the issue as soon as possible. Anything you want to add on that, Molly?
Nothing that we won't get to later.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, rider check-in. So we've touched on this a little bit. Rider check-in will start, because stalls don't open until noon, rider check-in will start at 12:30. That will be in the show office, which is right off of Nina Bonney. And it will be on Monday from 12:30 to 5 and on Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're not going to be arriving, if you and your horse are not going to be arriving before check-in close, so 4 p.m. on Tuesday, you need to contact me right away. I'm going to need to make alternative arrangements for check-in for you and for arrival exams. Our vet teams, like all of our vet students, are leaving after Friday evening. So I really need to know that now. Very important. You can't compete if you don't check in. You can't compete if you don't pass the arrival exam. Once you get to check in, you're going to see my shining face, most likely. Molly will maybe pop in a little bit when she can. But, and Alyssa, Maya, and Sally, we've got a great crew over at check-in. You're going to arrive. We're going to ask you for your name, and we're going to look for the following. Your health documents, like I talked about earlier. If I see that your horse is missing any of the documents needed to check in, I'm going to say, hey, missing your Coggins, missing whatever it is. I need you to go upload it and then come back and we complete your check-in. That's because a lot of times there's a huge line at check-in and I can't sit there and hold up the line to help get your documents uploaded. If you're having issues getting them uploaded, that's something we can talk about and I can help you when there's not a big crowd. But if there's a big crowd, I'm going to send you to the back of the line, have you upload your documents, and then once you get back to the back to the top, we'll get you checked in. From there, you're going to pick up your competitor packet, which will have your competitor numbers, your schooling tickets, which we will get to, and your horse's commemorative stall card. You're also going to pick up your saddle pad and your completion ribbon. You will receive one ribbon and one saddle pad per horse, and the saddle pad will be based on the selection you made at final entry. So that's all-purpose, dressage, or Western. We might have some additional freebies from our sponsors, so take a look and make sure you grab some of those as well. You can sign up using your competitor packet. We'll also have the QR code to stall decorating. And you will sign up at check-in for your freestyle prop schooling times, which we will also get to in a little bit. So please upload with that your freestyle and barrel racing music in advance. We have deadlines here. So freestyle, your music's going to have to be uploaded by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, October 8th. Barrel racing, if you have a specific song that you want to do your run to, you're going to have to upload that by Tuesday, October 7th. Do not bring your horse to rider check-in. It is rider check-in. It is off of Nina Bani. It is not a horse safe area. It is all on asphalt. And there are signs everywhere that say no horses. So please don't bring your horses. Your horses will have the arrival exam. That will be their time to shine. Rider check-in is your time to shine. Once we get you checked in, you're going to be put in a queue for the arrival exam. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But on that note, please don't come to rider check-in until your horse is on the premises and ready for their arrival exam. So if you get your horse off the trailer, you get them in their stall and they're just like very spun up, whatever it might be, and you don't want the vets to come look at them yet, just wait. You can't take them out of their stall yet because you don't have your bridle number, but wait until you're ready to complete your arrival exam, then come bring your human self over to rider check-in and we'll get you checked in and in the queue for the arrival exam. So I'm going to skip to arrival exams on that note for just a second. I'm not going to go into this in too much detail. I'm mostly going to tell you to please go watch the arrival exam webinar. But you're going to be in the queue once you've completed rider check-in. The queue will be visible to you in the portal so you could see how many people are ahead of you to do the arrival exam. They're going to meet you. If you are stabling at the horse park, they'll meet you right at your stall. We have a lot of vets this year, so there shouldn't be too long of a wait period at all. You can also ask me at check-in about how long the wait time is. I'm going to guess we're going to keep it at about 30 minutes max for most of check-in. We've got a lot of groups running, but if there's a huge wait time, I will certainly let you know that at check-in. So they'll meet you directly at your stall. Keep an eye on the queue. Make sure you or someone else is there with your horse when they arrive at your stall to do phase 1 of the arrival exam. They'll do that. Hopefully everything will be good with phase 1 and they'll let you know that you can go to phase 2, which is the soundness portion of the arrival exam. That is done at barns 1 through 4. So once they tell you you're all good, you're going to take your horse and hand walk them over to barns 1 through 4 to complete the soundness exam. With that, if you are shipping in, so if you are not stabling at the horse park, remember you still have to follow the same rider check-in schedule because the arrival exam schedule is tied into that. What you will do is you are going to take your trailer over to day trailer parking, leave your horse there, or have someone stay with your horse, or have yourself stay with your horse and have someone go to check in for you. You're going to get yourself checked in, and then you're going to walk your horse over to barns 1 through 4 to complete both phases of the arrival exam. You don't have a stall, so the vets cannot meet you at your stall. So you're going to take them over to barns 1 through 4 to complete both phases. Please tell them that you are a ship-in, and so you need to complete both phases. Otherwise, they might be a little bit confused, but it's really not a big issue. Once you've completed both phases, they're going to give you 2 blue stickers. And the blue sticker needs to go on your horse's bridle number and on their back number. That indicates to our judges, stewards, officials that your horse has passed the arrival exam and they are permitted to compete. On competition day, if you try to walk into an arena with a bridle number that doesn't have a blue sticker on it, our stewards are going to flag you and say, hey, as far as I'm aware, your horse has not passed the arrival exam. You're not permitted to compete. So make sure that when you get those stickers, you put them right on the correct horse's bridle numbers. If you're informed that first go around your horse has not passed the arrival exam, first of all, please don't panic. We talk about this in the webinar from Tuesday, but you get essentially 3 chances to pass the arrival exam. It's a very fair process. We really do our best. Our vets team is amazing, and no one is out to get you. They're just trying to make sure that every horse is healthy and suitable to compete in the competition. But if you are informed that you do not pass, whether it is the first phase or the second phase, they're going to hand you a card, and that card is going to have instructions for your next steps. And essentially those instructions are to text me with your horse's name, bridle number, and when your availability is for a recheck exam. That will have my number on it, so make sure you're texting me and not Molly. And let's see. I'm going to go back here to the competitor briefing. So you've now completed rider check-in. We're going to get to schooling. You've completed ticketed schooling. We have now arrived to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, which is October 7th. And we have our competitor briefing that will happen in the covered arena again at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. We cannot call it mandatory, but consider it mandatory.
Compulsory.
Compulsory, yes. This is going to be our last opportunity to cover any housekeeping issues with you guys, answer any questions you have prior to the start of competition. It is not recorded. There's no way for us to record it. So if you're not there, you've missed it. Please be there. We have the schedule set up so that there's nothing else conflicting with that. And again, come with questions, come with listening ears. It's super important. And it's a great way to start meeting your fellow competitors because we're all going to be in one spot. And if anything like last year, our media team might subject you to a chapel roan dance. All right. We'll get to bridle numbers in a bit. So I'm going to skip over to our schooling schedule and I'm going to share my screen with you all. Let's see here. I'm going to answer this question first, actually. Can I bring shavings and hay from my trailer over with my truck and unload, then leave? Yes. Yep, absolutely. As long as you don't leave your truck parked in the barns, you can unload anytime you need to, like shavings, grain, hay, whatever it is. All right. So our schooling schedule is out. I know it's been much anticipated. And I promise this will look much more viewable and less scary in person. We will have this printed out for all of you. It'll be in your packets on a much bigger sheet of paper. But it is also available online if you guys want to look at it at any time. It goes by date and by venue. So, schooling. You might have heard us refer to ticketed schooling several times throughout this webinar and others. When you complete check-in and you're handed your competitor packet, in there will be 2 schooling tickets per competing horse. So this is not for non-compete companion horses. This is for competing horses only. You get 2 tickets per horse. You cannot buy more tickets. You should not be selling your tickets to others. It is 2 tickets per horse. That is it. That is to keep things fair for everybody. And that is for, we call it ticketed schooling. It's for arena familiarization. Arena familiarization is available in the covered arena. It's available in Stoneleigh for show hunters, Claiborne for show jumpers, Walnut for dressage, Annex lunging for eventing dressage. The rings that are not available, or venues, I should say, that are not available for schooling are going to be the 3-day cross-country field, which is where competitive trail takes place, and the steeplechase infield, which is where eventing, your jumping phase of eventing, and field hunters take place. Do not bring horses within 100 feet of these venues prior to your ride time. If we find you there trying to school your horses anywhere near those venues, that is an automatic disqualification. We take that very seriously. Those courses are available starting on Tuesday for on-foot inspection only. So you can take yourself, again, as a human being and walk your courses. That's great and strongly encouraged, but you cannot bring your horses with you. Because we do not have schooling for competitive trail, what we will do for you all is you can go to ticketed schooling in the covered arena from noon to 3. That will be when we have some obstacles that are available for you all to school. So if you want to school some obstacles, you can do that in the covered arena. That will require a ticket, and that is going to be from noon to 3 on Tuesday. All ticketed schooling takes place on Tuesday. And so this is where I'm going to really, really stress you all that is important to check in as soon as you can. If you can get your horses in their stalls at noon on Monday and check in at 12:30, I highly recommend you do so. What happens every year is people get in at the 11th hour on Monday, and that creates a huge backlog for the vets because they need to go home by 6. So if you get there at 5 p.m. on Monday and get checked in, the vet's probably not going to be able to see you until Tuesday. And then you're already a good bit into ticketed schooling hours. And what happens is the arenas are very, very quiet in the mornings. People don't seem to want to utilize the ticketed schooling hours in the morning. And what happens is in the afternoons before the briefings, they're swamped. Everyone's trying to get their ticketed schooling done in the afternoon, and our stewards do have to limit the number of people that are in the ring at a time just to keep things safe. So if there is a waiting list to get into the arena and the ticketed schooling arena closes, which they all close at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, if that happens, you've missed your arena familiarization opportunity. We will not be opening rings up in the morning for anyone who didn't make schooling. So please, please, please check in as soon as possible so that you can get your arrival exam done. If you could get your arrival exam done and check-in done on Monday, then you have all day on Tuesday to take advantage of ticketed schooling. Go school in the morning when the rings are empty. I know it might be a little bit brisk outside and maybe your horse is going to be a little bit fresh. As long as they're going to be safe, go school in the morning. Some of you might have morning ride times when it's going to be brisk the next day. So you might as well do it Tuesday morning and have a nice empty ring to yourself. If you go when it's empty, you're probably going to be allotted more time in the ring. Let's see. Again, just take a look at the schedule to see when each ring is open for ticketed schooling and when it closes. And a lot of them are going to have a lunch break for 30 minutes at some point through the day. So plan accordingly, get very well acquainted with this schedule here. And one other thing to note about ticketed schooling is it is truly an arena familiarization opportunity. While the full courses will be set up in the arenas, so you're going to have your full show hunter course set up, your full show jumper course set up, you are not entitled to school the entire course. If you get there at 8 a.m. and there's nobody else there, the steward might just let you because they don't have to worry about getting somebody else in the ring. But if you're there like at peak hours, expect to maybe be able to jump 1 or 2 combinations, whatever you're most worried about, and then you're going to have to get out. It's truly an arena familiarization opportunity. There are so many warm-up rings for just riding your horse. You can hack all around the horse park. So this is not going to be a time where you're going to get a full ride in. This is just to get your horse used to the ring, get them used to the dressage courts, whatever it might be. Let's see. Again, hacking around the park is welcomed. Have fun. Enjoy the beautiful Kentucky Horse Park. Just stay away from the outdoor courses. So stay away from the steeplechase infield and the 3-day cross-country field for competitive trail, field hunters, and eventing. If you do want to cross-country school, Masterson Station Park is not far away. You might want to consider shipping in there to get some cross-country schooling done. Let's see, we've talked a little bit already that obstacles will be available to school in the covered arena from noon to 3 p.m. on Tuesday. It's part of ticketed schooling. Schooling tickets are required. Barrel racing, you all will have a dedicated schooling / exhibition run period that will take place in the covered arena on Tuesday from 3 p.m. You're going to have to arrive at 3 p.m. for a mounted briefing, so bring your horses with you, until about 5. So you'll be able to get some practice runs in. Tickets are not required for that, so just get your regular arena familiarization done in the covered arena earlier in the day and come back to do some exhibition runs in the afternoon. Freestyle, obviously you can do your regular arena familiarization in the covered arena on Tuesday during the day. In the wee hours of the night, we have prop schooling. So anyone that has signed up for freestyle, when you arrive to ride or check-in, that is where we are going to give you the opportunity to sign up for prop schooling. And prop schooling gives you 10 minutes dedicated alone time in the arena for you to practice your routine, figure out the logistics of setting up props, taking them down. That's 10 minutes. And each person in freestyle gets to do it one time. We will spread that out. We have, it'll start at 8 p.m. on Tuesday and 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So when you come to check in, we're going to assign you a time for one of those 2 nights. Tickets are not required for prop schooling. That is just for our freestyle people. It is first come, first serve. So the later you check in, the later of a prop schooling time you're going to get. Keep that in mind because it will go until about 10 p.m. at least those nights. So if you are someone that does not like to be out late, check in early and get a good prop schooling time. All right, the other schooling note I have here is for polo. Polo schooling is not on Tuesday. That is the only schooling opportunity that is not on Tuesday, besides prop schooling on Wednesday night. That will happen on the Secretariat Polo Field on Wednesday. That's going to be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets are not required for this, but it is for polo competitors only. Lindsay, our polo steward, knows who all of you are. So if one of you non-polo people decides you want to come check out the polo field, sorry. It's just not for you. Let's see. This schooling schedule here has when all the different warm-up arenas are open. So it really tells you anywhere and everywhere you can ride and at what times. When they're closed, they're closed. We will put locks on the arenas when they're closed for the day. That is just for safety purposes. And I think that's all I've got on schooling finally. So I'm going to chuck it back over to Molly for a second here. Please stop sharing. Sure. Okay. Actually, I'm not going to chuck it back over to Molly. I could do that. I could do that now, wherever they are. Did I skip them?
Yeah.
Here.
I thought you went past them to do schooling first.
I have all of my things are all mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, go for it.
My Zoom disappeared for a moment there. Okay. Competitor numbers. Among all of the beautiful things in your competitor packet and your ribbon and your saddle pad that you will be handed, your competitor packet will contain your competitor numbers. This will include your back number as well as your bridle number. Your bridle numbers might have different colored stickers. As Rayna mentioned, you're only going to get your blue stickers after completing your arrival exam. Make sure you stick them onto your numbers immediately so that you don't lose them. You will have to do some convincing and we will have to check our system numerous times to ensure that you completed your exam. Should you lose your numbers, so please don't lose them. If you have a green sticker, your horse is for sale in the marketplace. Pink stickers are our brood mares, and blue stickers are the arrival exam. So let's see, what else do we have? The bridle numbers are just our classic hook style bridle numbers. All horses at all times must wear a bridle number when out of their stalls. I will add a note here that if you are coming at an odd hour, so let's say you're coming really late on Monday night and you're not gonna see us at check-in, and you're gonna be out and about, or hand grazing or walking around the park, if you have a bridle number or something, and can use masking tape, whatever, to make yourself a little bridle number for identification, go ahead and do that. See if you have a non-compete horse with you. They will also have a bridle number in your packet that also must be worn at any time outside of the stall. That's it for bridle numbers.
Sorry, Cadence, I opened your question, so I'm gonna answer it. Cadence wants to know, is the schedule in the newsletter? Yes. I'm sorry, guys. Anytime in the schedule in the newsletter that I link the schooling schedule, that will link you to that massive schedule that I just screen shared. Okay.
Okay. Wow. Farrier and vet. So during the week, if you are in need of a farrier, the farrier at the horse park is Jeremiah Zimmer. He's going to be on call for our event, and he's going to be on site Wednesday through Saturday. His phone number is in your newsletter. And the vet on call will be Hagyard. They are right across the street. If you have an emergency, they're who you're going to call. They will also be available if you need just routine work or a PPE done. Moving on, we have drug testing. The winners of each discipline of the championship competition will have a blood draw in barns 1 through 4. Random drug testing will also take place during prelim competition. We do follow the USEF guidelines for drug and medication. So make sure you are well versed on prohibited substances. That is linked right here in the newsletter. That's also very well interpreted in our rule book. The drug reporting forms are also available for download here in the newsletter if you need to declare any medications to us. Once the form's filled out, please upload it to your horse's entry through the portal where Rayna showed you. You are uploading all of your health documentation, where many of you already know where to go. Horse park policies. So Deaver is our KHP contracted vendor. They are available for stabling supplies. You are not required by any means to use Deaver, but if you would like to have things delivered to your stall and not worry about bringing stuff with you or going to Tractor Supply or Southern States, they are available. They have hay, feed, bedding, stall mats, all of that. Their phone number is here. They are also available for golf cart rentals, which is super helpful. The horse park stalls do not have mats. So if anyone was around for the arrival exam webinar, you should know how to properly bed your stall for a successful week at the makeover. If not, check it out. But we definitely recommend that you plan accordingly. Make sure you bed deep with your appropriate bedding or rent mats, whatever you prefer. The horse park does not provide anything for your stalls. You get a 10 by 10 concrete stall, no mats, no hoses, no wheelbarrows, no pitchforks, nothing. So no bucket hangers, as Rayna knows, no bucket hangers. So make sure you have anything that you need. It's bare bones. There is a permanent door, so permanent sliding door. So at least there's that. And just make sure that you guys are all set for a comfortable week. And again, there's a Tractor Supply right down the road if you need it. And Deaver is there. They will deliver to your stall, so you can also set them up ahead of time and they will drop off stuff to your stall to be there when you're there. There are also some fire marshal policies to be aware of. Appliances must have 3 prongs, so no ungrounded box fans are allowed. Don't bring a 2-prong box fan. You will get in trouble. We will get in trouble. You cannot daisy chain power strips. Get a longer extension cord that has 3 prongs. Don't pinch cords in doors or windows, and extension cords must be plugged into a wall, not a power strip. With that, it is up to you guys to check out your stalls when you go in. Like Rayna said, after you do your check-in or before you do your check-in when you've gotten to the park, if you are stabling with us, check out your stall, make sure you're happy with it, make sure it's safe and comfortable for your horse. These stalls, as you know, are used as tack stalls. Many of you have reserved a horse stall and a tack stall. Some previous competitors might put nails in their stalls. That is not something I super love, and I understand the concern with that. So make sure that you check out your walls. There's nothing hanging out. There's nothing that shouldn't be in your stall. It's your responsibility to do a quick sweep. If there's any problem at all, you text me. We will get it taken care of. Do not feel obligated to put your horse into a stall that you do not feel is safe. We will get it handled in any way that we need to, and we will make sure that that is all good. I also have a hammer this year because last year I had some issues with stalls past the maintenance hours, and we came out with a hammer and we got it done. So we'll do what we need to do. And don't you worry. So let's see what else we have. You guys are also welcome to bring your own golf carts, little bikes, scooters, electric bikes, whatever you want. Everyone driving one of those has to be at least 16, and please observe the speed limits. Horse paths are for horses, regular roads are for vehicles. And follow the rules. Don't drive drunk.
Okay, that move.
That is you.
All right. I'm gonna just add on to that. I've seen a couple questions come through on my email regarding if you guys are in the new stalls or the older stalls. Everyone is in the older stalls. I think they only have like one new barn built right now, and it just doesn't feel fair to us to put some of you guys in the fancy new barn and then not everybody. So for the sake of fairness, we're all in the older barns. That is nothing to be ashamed of, okay? It's beautiful no matter where you go at the Kentucky Horse Park. They are just bare bones. That is all you need to know, and you need to know that they are on concrete. All right, so I see we have some questions, so I'm gonna do a brief pause here and look through. Keegan wants to know, is there a specific or safest route from the haul-in parking to check to the check-in barns? Can we have a map with arrows or something? I believe you would just follow the horse paths. It should be on the actual venue map. It's linked in the portal. I'm sorry that I do not know the answer to that off the top of my head.
If that's for drop trailer parking, which
No, shipping.
for shipping, okay. There are designated horse paths that are very well labeled, but we can also help you out with our map. If you email that question to secretary, I can make sure that you're clear on where exactly you go. They do have a ton of horse paths though that are very well labeled, and it will be kind of like you'll be able to follow the flow of the crowd pretty well. You will not be alone in trying to figure out where you're going.
Okay, and then no bucket hooks in the stall, correct? Correct. So you can bring some of those you can either drill your own bucket hangers, which people do, or you can get those bucket hangers that you can just like tie to the like metal grate that's on the stall, and those work perfectly fine as well. Water supply for the barns. How long of a hose should I bring? Excellent question. I believe that there is like water supply at each end and in the middle, if I'm not mistaken. Someone who's been to the horse park and has actually had to stable there before, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the Q&A. But you shouldn't have to bring that long of a hose. Maybe someone will jump in and save me in the Q&A section. But for now, also feel free to email me and I will find out the answer to that question for you. All right, Laura coming in. Thank you, Laura. Every couple of stalls, there are spigots. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, you shouldn't have to bring that long of a hose. All right. Moving on to scoring, protests, and special awards. So the makeover scoring is live, and that scores are protested on our website as calculations are being processed back in the scoring office. We have an amazing scoring team. They work super, super hard to get your scores up as soon as possible. But with that, know that you might see a score and go, there's no way, I know I did so much better than that. they might not be done processing your scores. What happens a lot is sometimes they'll enter one number and they might accidentally hit the submit button. And so you'll see like, it looks like I only got scored for one obstacle on competitive trail. Don't worry until scores are marked as final for the day. Each day will say, it'll say at the top whether it's in process or it's complete. If it says complete, at that point, what's going to happen is we have this nifty new tool where your scorecards are going to be uploaded to the trainer portal. So you don't need to come pick up a scorecard to see exactly where you might have scored something that you thought you did better on, what it might be, whatever that might be. You can log into your portal and you're going to be able to see a scanned copy of your scorecard right there. If you see something you disagree with or you think is mathematically incorrect, that's where you're going to file your protest. So protest for scores must be lodged within 6 hours. That is a new thing to note. It was 12 hours in previous years. It's been shortened to 6 hours. So protest for scores must be lodged within 6 hours of scores being marked as scoring complete for the day. Again, we talked about how on the top of the screen for ride times, it's going to say either in process or scoring complete. Some have 2 days, so it might say scoring complete as of and Wednesday and as of Thursday. So if you're on show hunters and show jumpers, eventing, dressage, some of those disciplines that run across 2 days, that's something to keep in mind. Look at your scorecard. And we have 2 different types of protests. Protests to scores awarded by judges, so just disagreeing with a score that you were given, essentially, must be submitted via the protest and complaints form on the website with a $100 protest fee. Again, that's going to be through the trainer portal. It's going to be a pretty accessible button right there for you guys to see. Scores, protest to your scores. You think, hey, you know what? I think I should have gotten an 8 here, not a 5. That's going to be a $100 protest fee because that's somewhat subjective. The fee will be returned to you if the judges and stewards rule in your favor and choose to adjust your score. If they choose to not adjust your score for whatever reason, do not rule in your favor, that protest fee is now a donation. Thank you very much. The reason we do that is because in order to resolve a protest, I have to call our judges in and our ground jury in, and we all have to meet in the wee hours of the morning and look over your scorecard, look over your protest in detail. Depending on the protest, we might even call you in to talk about it if it's not something as simple as, hey, I think I just should have gotten this. So it takes a lot of work to resolve a protest. So if they do not rule in your favor, that $100 is for our troubles. If they do rule in your favor, if they're like, I did make a mistake, I really should have given Molly an 8 and not a 5.
Yeah.
Then then Molly gets her $100 back and she gets an 8 instead of a 5. So that's fabulous. If you are protesting mathematical errors, like you just think, hey, the total for these scores, it should have been this and not that. That does not does not need a $100 protest fee. You will still use the protest and complaints form on the website. That still does need to be done within 6 hours of scoring complete, but again, not subject to a protest fee. Our scoring office will take a look and they either will or will not resolve it if there is not a mathematical issue. Mathematical issues do happen, but I don't know that we've had a mathematical issue in the past couple of years. I'm gonna knock on some wood, but they're really good back there. They're really good. All right. Trainers may only protest their own judging and scores. Protesting another competitor's results will not be accepted. If a trainer believes a possible rule violation may have impacted another competitor's results, they need to submit an official complaint rather than a protest. So you're not allowed to be like, hey, I watched this person's round and they scored better than me, and I don't think they should have scored better than me. I think I did better. I want to protest their scores. That's bad sportsmanship, buddy. We ain't doing that around here. So you can't protest other people's scores. However, if you see someone, let's say, schooling the competitive trail course when they are not supposed to, you're going to go ahead and file an official complaint so that we can take care of that. An official rule complaint can be done on our website. We've made it super accessible now. Go to our website. You can scroll down to the footer of the website. It can also be found on the contact form, found so many places, and just select the button that says report a rule violation. And provide us with all the details, please do so. If you see someone breaking a rule, if you see someone behaving inappropriately, we cannot do anything about it if we are not informed. While I like to think I have eyes everywhere at all times, I only have two. And I don't know everything. You know, I like to think I do, but I don't. So please, if you see something, inform us. Submit the rule violation report form. Again, that can be based off the competitor code of conduct. That can be violating a schooling rule, whatever it is. And we will gather the appropriate people to review that report and take whatever action needs to be taken. And with that, please keep in mind the code of conduct for yourselves. This show is called The Happiest Horse Show on Earth, coined by competitors, not by us, for a reason. And we want to keep it that way. So be kind to each other, be kind to our stewards, our officials, our judges, our volunteers. Be kind to us, please, because we are often very tired. But especially to our volunteers, please make sure that you thank a volunteer when you see them. If I see anyone being unkind to our officials and our volunteers, you best believe I will be saying something. I just don't tolerate it. So I expect everyone to treat everyone with kindness and respect. And let's continue on with our happiest horse show on earth reputation. So circling back just a little bit to protests. If a protest is submitted incorrectly, let's say outside of the protest period, or against another competitor's results, we will withhold whatever processing fees our payment processor has charged us and then only issue a partial refund. So please don't submit a protest out like incorrectly. To ensure an appropriate and timely response, protests cannot be accepted in any other form other than using the protest and complaints form. You can also read more about the protest policy on the rulebook, which again, linked in this lovely newsletter. A new for this year as well. Scorecards, we already talked about, they're going to be uploaded in the trainer portal. What we're going to do is we're going to send you all a text message when they're ready to be accessed. So let's say scoring is complete for the day on show hunters, all of our show hunters that we're riding on Wednesday, we're going to send you a text and say, hey, your scorecard's up, go take a look. Hard copies of the scorecard will be available, but you don't necessarily need them. If you want them for a memento, you can have them. They will be available for pickup in the show office during normal hours once scores are marked final for the day. So you can look at that massive schedule I sent you and take a look at when the show office is open. If it's been marked as complete for the day and you want your hard copy scorecard, you can come get it from the show office. If we're closed, you're going to have to come get it the next day. All right. Horses are also auto-nominated for their special awards that they're eligible for. And those awards are awarded based off a preliminary competition, and they will be presented at the awards dinner on Saturday. Let's see here. Okay. We're getting there, guys. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. All right, so the championships, awards, and prize money. This year is a big one. We are making a change from our previous finale format to the championship format. So if you finish in the top 10, first through 10th place overall, so that's not the other special award categories, overall first through 10th place in your discipline, any of the 10 disciplines, you're eligible to compete in our discipline championships, which will all take place on Saturday, the 11th. Take a look at that schooling schedule, see where your discipline championship might take place. A lot of these championships are occurring in their preliminary competition venue, which is great. If your horse, you don't necessarily need to introduce your horse to a new arena or venue. Some of you will, but some of you will not. So take a look. We also have times when we think each discipline will run. So that's great. That gives you a better idea too. If you make it into the top 10 of your discipline, after that discipline has been marked as complete, you will be required to attend the championship briefing. That is going to happen on the Covered Arena Concourse on Friday at 9 a.m. We're not going to be contacting you to remind you to come, but we will make an announcement if the time of the briefing is going to change. It's not going to change. It's going to be 9 a.m. on the Covered Arena Concourse. So if you're top 10 in any of our disciplines after scoring is complete, make sure you are at the briefing at 9 a.m. on Friday. Keep an eye on scoring, see if you've made it to the top 10, and then get your butt over to the briefing. Take a look at that schooling schedule like we talked about to give you all details on when arena familiarization might be available to our championship participants, and where your championship's going to take place. You also will need to participate in a jog. We talk about this in the rival exam webinar, so go ahead and listen to that. But every horse that is going to participate in the championships must first do a jogged horse inspection. That's going to be in front of our ground jury and a panel of veterinarians. That is going to be on Friday from noon to 4 p.m. We will break it up by discipline. When you come to the briefing, we'll be able to give you a more exact time as to when your jog will happen. So that's why you have to come to the briefing, among many other reasons. And that is going to be in the covered arena as well, and the overhang. It's not necessarily intended to be a fashion show, but we really invite and encourage you all to dress up. Horses should be clean. If you're dressed and tidy, we will have a photographer there. So great time to take some pictures. And, it's pretty cool to have made it to a point where you have to jog your horse in order to compete. We love that. Horses will need to jog in a bridle or head stall that's appropriate for their discipline. We talk about this as well. Please don't try to jog your horse in a big shank bit, a leverage bit, or a bosel. While beautiful, all of those, when you're trying to jog your horse in hand, can often send mixed signals and might make your horse jog a little bit funny. So save yourself the stress, put them either in a simple snaffle head stall or put them in a leather bridle, even or leather halter or a rope halter. Just something clean and easy to jog the horse in. So the ribbons for the retired racehorse division preliminary competition will be awarded based off preliminary competition results for 1st through 10 overall, 1st through 10 junior, 1st through 10 amateur, and 1st through 10 team. We will also award ribbons for the former broodmare division for 1st through 10 overall. We do not have top junior, top team, top amateur for the former broodmare division. If you're not staying for the awards party on Saturday, which we really hope you will, the ribbons will be available for pickup at the show office during normal hours once protest periods have closed on Friday. So once they've closed on Friday, they will be available for pickup in the show office from Friday until about 3 p.m. on Saturday. After 3 p.m. on Saturday, we're going to move the ribbons up to the concourse of the covered arena, and they'll be available there for pickup for the party. If you're not able to pick your awards up on site, you're going to email us by December 31st, and we can send you an invoice to cover shipping costs, and we can ship those directly to you. Let's see. For the awards party, we've already talked about this a little bit, but ribbons for the first place winner of each discipline, the first place junior, first place team, first place amateur, special awards, first place broodmare, and best conditioned will all be presented at the awards party. So we will notify you if you've won one of these awards to try to confirm whether or not you will be there to accept the award. Prize money checks are mailed after the competition once drug test results are returned to us. That's normally a few weeks following the competition. Checks in excess of $600 to U.S. citizens and green card holders do require a W-9 form. We will send those to you all digitally, and you will need to complete one before we can send you your prize money. And I'm going to take a break from yapping, and Molly's going to talk about show photography.
Great time. Okay. So this year we once again have our photography team with Erin Gilmore Photography, who will be joining us. She does a lovely, lovely job. The photos from her will be available within 48 hours of the completion of competition, and they will be linked via the RRP's website. There's a link to that link in the trainer newsletter below. Please note, guys, that we do not allow any third-party professional photography at the makeover. Only media representatives with our approved credentials are welcome. Photography taken by RRP Media is also not available for purchase. So if you guys have friends or family that's taking pictures of you, that's perfectly fine. But under no circumstance is anyone allowed to be on the property taking pictures for sale, or taking pictures of multiple competitors and then trying to, hawk photos and sell them. We have a photography team that does a beautiful job, and out of respect to them and the hard work and dedication that they put in throughout the week, they are exclusively doing the media for our event. Please review the photography policy linked for additional information. And if you guys have any questions, by all means. But again, you're allowed to take pictures of yourselves. Don't have no fear. You're allowed to have videos of your own rounds and stuff. But if there's anyone tied to you, or if you yourself are trying to take photography to then sell, not allowed. Back to Rayna for discipline-specific notes, patterns, and course maps.
Woo, okay, this is the last thing that we need to get through, and then we're going to open it up for questions and whatever other funny remarks Molly and I might have. So, it is very important to remember that this is a retraining competition, and the rules and formats for our disciplines are going to vary a lot from what you're used to at a traditional horse show for your chosen discipline. So please make sure to read this newsletter in depth. Make sure to read the discipline formats in our rule book. It's really not that long. Whatever you're entered in, take a look at it in the rule book, read it from top to bottom, and then you'll really know what you're getting yourself into. Hopefully you know by now, but if you don't, you still have 11 days. So, you can figure it out. Some of the patterns and tests are already posted. I linked the spot on our website where every pattern and test and whatever course we can will be uploaded as we receive them. Courses for show hunters and show jumpers will be posted for the at the arena once they're available for schooling. We're not going to be printing bulk copies of those courses to hand out. So go to the course, go directly to the venue, take a picture of the course so you have it on your phone. But we will not have a ton of copies of that available. We just end up wasting so much paper anytime we try to do that. So now going into each discipline, barrel racing, your unique thing that is going to be a lot different from when you go to a standard barrel race is you have to do a flat pattern. It's called the horsemanship pattern. The pattern that you have to follow is in the rule book. It's linked to that patterns and test link that's in the newsletter. Follow the pattern. Everyone goes on Wednesday morning. You have a specified ride time for your horsemanship pattern on Wednesday morning. And then your timed runs are on Wednesday and Thursday evening. All of you will see a 5:30 p.m. time on Wednesday and Thursday. That is just the start of the order of go for the whole session. So we're going to run off an order of go with drags every 5 runs. The order of go for timed runs are going to be accessible on the website once they're finalized, and they'll also be posted ringside. We're going to be running in reverse order on Thursday evening. Again, we talked about it a little bit already, but our awesome announcer for barrel racing, Danielle, she has offered to play a signature song for all of you when you're doing your run. So if there's a specific song you want playing while you're doing your timed run, you're going to need to declare what that song is using the music upload form linked in the newsletter. It's going to be on your competitor packet. It's all over the place. You need to do that by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 7th. If you don't do that by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 7th, Danielle's just going to pick a song for you. So if you've got a favorite song that you want to run to, or your horse's favorite song, make sure you let her know. If you're on a team for barrel racing, you're going to split that. You've got 3 phases. You have the horsemanship pattern, you have run 1 and run 2. So you need a minimum of 2 team members. Someone has to do one of those phases and the team member 2 has to do the other 2. Or if you are lucky enough to have 3 team members on your team, you each will do 1 phase. One of you do a horsemanship pattern, one of you will do run 1, one of you will do run 2. All right, that's barrel racing. Competitive trail. Horses will compete one at a time. That is specified because it used to not be that way. Thankfully, we do not do that anymore. One horse on course per time. That will be over at the 3-day cross-country field venue. There is a maximum course time. This here, it says 7 minutes. I don't know if that's actually accurate for this year. Sorry, guys. I kind of updated this tonight. So either way, you will know once the course is posted online what the maximum course time is. What I do know is there are 10 obstacles on course, and if you're on a team, you guys will switch team members after obstacle 5. The course is going to be open, obviously, for on-foot inspection on Tuesday, and there's going to be a walk with our course designer at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I highly, highly recommend that you go to the walk. Last year, she brought a demo horse and had her demo rider actually demonstrate and run through the entire course. And that was super helpful for people. That's how people learned that, like, hey, this course, if you're going to make the like maximum time, it's going to be tight. So if you start struggling with an obstacle, you might want to move on. Highly recommend you go. You can ask her all your questions too on how to best approach an obstacle. Chris is super knowledgeable, super helpful. So keep in mind, the walk with the course designer is at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. for competitive trail. You can also ask her questions about equipment, or you can send them to us. I had another note about competitive trail and it just immediately escaped me. So maybe it'll come back to me in a minute. I'm going to move on to dressage. So dressage, you all are riding in the walnut ring. You need to be at the walnut ring by your scheduled ride time. Ideally, you're going to be in warm-up far before that, but you do have scheduled ride times. You're not going to be late to those, or you will be considered a scratch. You will perform your either training level test or your basic level test if you're doing English dressage or Western dressage first, and then you're going to be doing your demonstration ride. So you'll have your actual test in ring 1 and your demo ride in ring 2. A break between those 2 rides is not guaranteed. We've had some confusion about that in the past. You will see 2 separate ride times on your ride times. You will have a ride time for the test and a ride time for the demo. That is mostly to indicate to you all that you have two tests that you need to do. If the rings are running super behind and ring 2 is ready for you to do your demo, you are not entitled to a break. They will send you into ring 2 to do your demonstration ride. If there is time and everything's running on time, then the steward should allow you to wait to go and go into the ring until your ride time for ring 2. Please keep in mind too, those ride times are for when you're supposed to be down center line. It's not for when you're supposed to be doing your lap around the outside of the court. Your ride time is supposed to start as you're going down center line. All right, so please don't squawk at our amazing stewards because if you desperately need a break for some reason, that's a whole different conversation. You can talk to them, but just know that you are not entitled to a break. If you're on a team, though, we will make sure that you have time to switch riders in between. There is a mounting block right there at the in-gate in the walnut. So your team member is going to come up with you to the walnut. You're going to do the training level or basic level test, and then you're going to come back to the in-gate, switch riders, and your rider 2 is going to go do the demonstration ride. So there's really not a lot of time for like tack changes. So please don't plan on doing that unless it's absolutely necessary, but it is back to back. We will allow you to change team members though. Both rides are in a standard size dressage arena. Remember that your demo time is 5 minutes and it will start at your salute. A bell will chime when your 5 minutes are up, and you don't need to salute prior to exiting the arena. Whips can be no longer than 47.2 inches, and a bit check will be performed after your ride. Let's see. For eventing, we've got a big change this year. We have changed it from a standard 3-phase event to 2 phases. So it is kind of modeled after Young Event Horse. You will do your dressage test first, and regardless of your jumping height selection, everyone, beginner, novice, and novice, will perform dressage test USEF 2022 USEF Novice Test B. After your dressage test, you'll see on your ride times, obviously, you have quite the gap. and then you will go to your jumping phase. Your jumping phase is going to be in the steeplechase infield, and that is going to be a combination of stadium fences and cross-country fences. And those will be either at beginner, novice, or novice, depending on the height selection you made on your final entry form. Our novice riders are going to go first each day, and then the rest of the day will be beginner, novice. Team horses need to be presented by 2 different riders, one for the dressage phase, one for the jumping phase. The dressage test for eventing is in a small dressage arena, and that is going to be an annex lunging ring. So that's different from last year as well. You're not in the annex ring anymore. You're in annex lunging, which is that giant, beautiful lunging pad, except it will not be used for lunging this year. It will be used for dressaging. So keep that in mind. The actual annex ring, that is going to be covered arena warm-up this year. Again, whips no longer than 47.2. Bit check will be performed after the ride. You need to wear your cross-country vest in your jumping phase and display your number in a penny holder. We will have penny numbers printed out for you in your competitor packets, but you are responsible for providing your penny holders. Field hunters. All right, so field hunters, on Wednesday, all of you bright and early in groups at 8 a.m. and 8:20 a.m., depending on which one you've been assigned, are going to do your under saddle test. And then after that, everyone will move directly on to their assigned ride times for their individual tests. All of this happening at the steeplechase infield. You will then return on Thursday morning to do your mock hunt in those same flights. So we have 2 flights, one at 8, one at 8:20. You're also all invited to the Stirrup Cup at 7:30 a.m. prior to the start of mock hunt. That's super fun. And those of you that are not in field hunters, if you don't have somewhere to be starting at like 7:30 a.m. on Thursday, I highly recommend you go and watch field hunters. Such a good time. It's beautiful, great event to watch. All right, riders, for field hunters, you also need to wear your penny number provided in your packet for all phases. You will also be provided with a saddle towel. Please wear it in all phases. This does say mock hunt because that is required in mock hunt, but our judges really do prefer that you wear the saddle towel that we will provide you at check-in in all 3 phases, but absolutely required in the mock hunt. These saddle towels are not for you to keep. They need to be returned to us at the show office. Please take them to the show office rather than the info desk after your mock hunt. If you do not return your saddle towel, that is going to result in a $100 fine. We will not allow you to pick up scorecards, ribbons, or prize money until the saddle towel has been returned or the replacement fee has been paid. If you somehow lose your saddle towel or you really want to keep it, you can just give us $100 and we will all just walk away. I'm so sorry.
They're expensive to replace.
They are expensive to replace. So, and having to replace them out of order is a whole other thing too. Okay, so team horses, also, you're going to be presented by at least 2 riders, and you're going to switch it between phases. During the mock hunt, if you have to pull up to avoid a pileup at a fence, you're going to need to circle to the back of the field. It will be assessed as a jumping fault due to following too close. So that's something to keep in mind. Freestyle. You guys get a maximum of 8 minutes in the arena. 5 of those minutes are judged. Only 5 of them are judged. Props need to be set and cleared within the other 3 minutes. So your judge time and your music will begin when you signal by raising your hand. If you want to signal some other way, as some people often do, you're going to make note of that in your music upload form. You can let the freestyle steward know Bailey's great, and they will help you figure that out too. If raising your hand is not the cue you want to use to start your music or start your judge time. Okay, let's see here. If you are using animals, firearms, or weapons, loud noise, or any element that would be disruptive or unsettling to other horses or attendees, you need to notify the steward when you arrive for warm-up. Team horses must be handled by a minimum of 2 team members during your routine. So it just needs to be obvious that a minimum of 2 of you have instructed the horse in some way, whether that's riding or through groundwork. All right, again, you're going to upload your freestyle music using the form. Freestyle music needs to be an MP3 file format only. That is the only method accepted for music submission. And your music will not be accepted after 5 p.m. on Wednesday, October 8th. If you do not upload music for your freestyle routine before 5 p.m. on Wednesday, our freestyle announcer is just going to pick a random song for you. And your freestyle routine likely really relies on your music. So I would highly recommend that you get that done, honestly, before you leave for the event. And this is, again, another reminder that you need to sign up for prop schooling at check-in. We will remind you of that. We can see on your packet what disciplines you're doing, and we'll say, oh, hey, freestyle, I better sign you up for prop schooling. But if for some reason we forget, don't be afraid to remind us. Another important note for freestyle, anyone participating in your freestyle routine needs to go to the info desk and sign a liability waiver. Once they sign that waiver, they will be given that wristband, the same wristband that they will be given if they're trying your horse in the marketplace. Our steward is not going to let anyone in the arena without a wristband on their wrist besides the actual competitor themselves. Even if you are a competitor yourself and you are just assisting in someone's routine, it's often just easier to go and sign another liability waiver and get a wristband. That's what I would recommend doing. Okay. Polo. Oh, another note for freestyle. Sorry. We will not store your props. If you have big props to store, that is on you to figure out. If you've rented a tack stall, you can put them in your tack stall. That's great. But there is no putting your props behind the stage or anywhere near the covered arena. You are responsible for storing them. We are not. All right. Polo. Polo is on the Secretariat Polo field. You're going to use half of the polo field. You're going to perform your short work pattern first. Remember, that is an actual pattern, just like in dressage, just like in barrel racing. You have an exact pattern that you need to follow. There will be score deductions and possible eliminations if you go off pattern enough times. So highly recommend that you memorize your pattern. You can also use a reader. We can talk about that in a little bit. So you're going to do your short work pattern first, and then immediately do your stick and ball work at your scheduled time in one go without leaving the arena. If you are a team, you are going to still do your short work pattern first, and then you're going to switch riders for the stick and ball, and our steward will likely rotate you back in for that second phase. Let's see. Also, please check the rule book if you're in polo, because the championship format has changed drastically over the years. And you will do the short work pattern in the championship as well. And you will also, only the top 6 will actually participate in the chukker. All top 10 will do the short work, and then whoever is top 6 after the short work will come back in for the chukker. It's another really fun one to watch. So please stick around for the championships and definitely come watch the chukker. It's a fun one to cheer everybody on. All right, ranch work. Your rides are scheduled to complete the ranch riding pattern first, another one that has a pattern that you have to follow. So you're going to do your pattern first, your flat work pattern at your scheduled ride time. And then you have a second ride time scheduled. That is for ranch trail. So after everyone goes for the ranch riding pattern, the ranch trail course is going to be built. And please, if you're bringing people, Wendy can use all the hands we can get to help set up that ranch trail course. So the ranch trail course is going to get set up during the lunch break, and then there will be an opportunity for an on-foot inspection. We will have a more approximate time for when that's going to happen, but right now I have that listed at about, I put 11:45 p.m. I meant to say a.m. So sorry about that. It's definitely not having an 11:45 at night. Just on a roll here. Okay, so 11:45 a.m. prior to the start of the afternoon schedule for Ranch Trail. There will be a maximum time for the course, and that will be included on the course map. Team members, one of you will do the ranch riding phase, one of you will do the ranch trail phase. Similarly to some of our other disciplines, the championship format is going to look a little bit different this year. We have added a rail class. So you have a group flat class essentially along with your cattle sorting for the championship. So please refer to the rule book for more information on that one. All right, show hunters. We are truly getting there, guys, almost at the end. Show hunters are scheduled in groups of 8 or less at the time specified. So all of you will see we have a 10 a.m. rotation, 11 a.m., noon. That ride time is an hour-long rotation. So a rotation will be kept at the in-gate with our lovely steward, Eileen, for your over fences trips. And then all of you are going to return at the end of the rotation once everyone in your group has done your over fences trips for your under saddle portion. The exception to this rule is our 3-foot competitor. I have put competitors, but it is one person this year. Our 3-foot competitor is scheduled for the 3 p.m. rotation on Thursday. And what's going to happen there is all of our 2-6 competitors in the 3 p.m. rotation are going to go first. And then the 3-foot competitor and all of the 2-6 competitors are going to go in for their under saddle. And then the fences will be raised to 3 foot, and our 3-foot competitor will do their rounds when they're ready. And this is another one. Okay, team horses need to be presented by at least 2 different riders. You're going to switch between phases. You have 3 phases for show hunters: under saddle and your 2 over fences. You should check in with Eileen to see if our judges are using a start sound and a courtesy circle. That is something that we do allow, which I know is very untraditional to a normal show hunter competition. But if the judges will use a start signal, which sometimes they prefer not to, then you will need to wait to jump until they have either blown their whistle, ring the bell, whatever it is, whatever start sound that it is that they're using, or maybe they're not. So check in with Eileen before you start your competition. And if they are using a start sound, you will be permitted to do a courtesy circle while you wait for them to do that start sound. And another one, the championship phase. We have added an under saddle phase to the championship. Before it was just one over fences phase, and that was the championship. Now everyone's gonna do their over fences. All top 10 of you are gonna come back for your under saddle. So that's another great addition to that. Show jumpers. Okay, some changes with show jumping as well. You're going to enter the arena, approach the judges, stand and salute to commence phase 1 or your flat work pattern. Another one that has a flat work pattern that you have to follow. At the sound of a whistle, they will be using a start sound. So after you salute, you're going to wait for your whatever alert sound they're using, whistle, bell, all the things. And then you're going to proceed to your flat pattern. I have linked in I have linked in this newsletter the YouTube video that actually shows you how to execute the pattern. The pattern is also available in the rulebook and everywhere else that you can find the patterns that we use. But if you want to see someone actually ride the pattern, go ahead and watch that YouTube video. You can start tracking in the direction of your choice, and you should make large circles, taking up as much of the long side in front of the judges as possible. One thing to note for show jumpers this year, there's no longer a gymnastics phase. It's just the flat pattern, and then you're going to start into phase 2, which is jumping round 1. That is going to start with a trot fence. But following the conclusion of your flat work, you're going to proceed without stopping or waiting for a signal to complete phase 2. This is going to be a course that is ridden for optimum time. The optimum time will be posted on the course map. A timer will be used. Following the conclusion of phase 2, you are going to now wait for a start signal before you start phase 3. Phase 3 is not timed. It will present turning and adjustability questions that will allow the trainer to demonstrate the horse's suitability for show jumpers. It might include fence options as well. Speed is not going to be rewarded in sacrifice of balance, adjustability, or jumping form. A timer will not be displayed. For team horses, you all are going to have one rider do the flat phase 1, and then you're going to exit the arena and switch riders for phase 2. Our steward will rotate you back in when appropriate to complete phases 2 and 3 with your second team member. All right. Jumping disciplines. We have our faults are assessed a little bit differently here. Please see the USEF rules for eventing, and that's kind of what we've based our jumping faults off of. Horses are allowed no more than 4 knockdowns per jumping phase / trip. A horse will be eliminated on the 5th knockdown occurrence in one phase. Each occurrence of a knockdown will be marked by a K on the horse's scorecard. Horses are allotted no more than 2 disobediences, so think stop or refusal, in each phase or trip. A horse will be eliminated at the 3rd disobedience occurrence in one phase. Each occurrence of a disobedience will be marked with a D on the horse's scorecard. Unlike previous years, faults for knockdowns and disobediences are now assessed separately. They are two different types of faults and will not be combined in such a way that results in elimination. If you are eliminated and have an additional jumping phase left to ride, so think your second jumping phase in hunters, your mock hunt in field hunters, all that kind of stuff, you can see the steward and see if you're permitted to complete the remainder of your test for no score. This is a retraining competition. We want you guys to get as much education out of this as possible. So that will allow the judges to still, to one, give your horse another shot, a better experience, and the judges can still fill out your scorecard, but you will still see on our website, there will be no score. Instead, there will be an E for an elimination. And that is the actual newsletter itself. There was something in there that I said I would touch on, and I, of course, immediately forgot. So we are now going to open for questions, but what I will say is I know can be scary and stressful, and we are 11 days out, and that might be frightening, but take a deep breath. You've made it this far, and congratulations to all of you. This is a huge accomplishment in itself, and I can't wait to see everyone's shining faces in just 11 days. And we're all here to have fun and just really represent the horses as best as possible. So just remember to pat your ponies, even if the day doesn't go as planned. All right. Yep. Molly, do you want to unmute and do some questions?
I can read them out. Do you want me to unmute?
Sure. That's fine. Yeah, I can stay and you can read them out.
So Laura had a note as well when she was helping us out with our KHP barn. Wash racks don't supply hoses. So we mentioned that
Yes.
Bring hoses, wash racks don't supply hoses. You will need hoses for that.
Yeah.
So even if you're cool with lugging buckets of water to your horse's stall, if you need to hose your horses down, which you likely will, you will need to bring your own hose for that or borrow a friend's. So it's cool. Then someone else asked if there were wash racks at every barn and also where to dump manure.
So there are designated wash racks that they're not in every barn. They're not in the barns, period. There's a designated area that has wash racks. Dumping manure, if you are in barns 13 through 17. 13 through 17, there is a manure pit like kind of right across from those barns, and that's where you need to dump manure. Do not dump your manure at the ends of those barns. You will get in trouble for that.
Yep.
If you are in barns 5 through 7, on the other hand, I do believe that you can dump your manure at the ends of those barns. You will see there are signs everywhere that will tell you where you can dump your manure.
Don't put manure where it says not to put manure.
Yes.
They will get mad.
And another great thing about the Kentucky Horse Park, you do not need to strip your stalls when you leave. So when you're leaving, hopefully on Sunday, hopefully you're staying with us through Sunday, you don't need to strip your stalls. Just take whatever it is you want to take with you, but the dirty shavings, manure, all that you can leave in your stalls, and the Kentucky Horse Park is going to take care of cleaning the stalls for you.
All right. Prize money. Yes, there's a very detailed breakdown of prize money in the rule book. And if you open up the rule book and you hit Control F and you type in money, it'll take you right to it.
Yep. Or you can just click on the index in the rule book where it says prize money and ribbon distribution, and it will also take you directly to the right page.
That's the detailed breakdown. If you have any questions, go ahead and email us.
Yes. Yeah. Very detailed breakdown, and it has changed a little bit this year. So
everyone has to be out of their stalls by 8 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yep.
That is when stall turnover is. We would love for everyone to hang out with us Saturday evening, but you do have to clear out Sunday morning. I don't know.
8 a.m.
Are people allowed to picket around the park if they're not in their stalls?
I mean, if everything
If
is
your stuff's gone.
Yeah, if all of your stuff is gone from your stalls and you want to hang around at the horse park,
Pack around the park with your packed trailer and
yeah, like that's fine. You could do that.
But yeah, you have to be completely cleared out of your stall and barn area. The KHP crew comes through and is extremely efficient with their turnover of stalls. And since you so kindly do not have to strip your stalls, that is what they will be doing starting at 8 a.m. So everyone will need to be out by then.
All right. Carrie, that is great. I did see your email as well, and I was going to respond. And instead, because you're here, I'm just going to read you the answer I got from our steward. So Carrie is asking if crop whips are allowed in barrel racing and ranch work. So let me find my conversation that I had with Liz and Wendy. So Liz over in barrel racing said that she doesn't see it as being any different as using an over and under or a rope wrist type whip. So as long as there's no excessive whipping, she's okay with it in barrel racing. Wendy over in ranch work said that crops in ranch might look poorly, but they are legal. They need to be under 30 inches. And there are some rules with construction of the whip. They can only be used on the flanks or near the rider's leg. They cannot touch in front of the cinch or on the hindquarters. Wendy would advise a soft over-under hook to the horn, and says that would probably work best. Carrying a crop and handling reins during the trail portion will make it very visible to the judges when you're moving your reins and the crop to the opposite hand to work a gait or hold for a rope drag. So it's probably better off to find something else other than a traditional crop. All right, that is currently our last question. Do we have any other questions all? Anything at all? Can be regarding discipline rules, regarding auxiliary events, stabling, the horse park, all things makeover. Give you guys another couple seconds for questions here. Otherwise, it's nearly 9 o'clock and we'll let you guys go to sleep. So last call for questions. Molly, do you have anything you want to say to the people? Molly doesn't have anything she wants to say to the people.
Nothing to say. That's a first.
I do want to just, first of all, just apologize for the unhinged nature of this webinar tonight. And we're very tired. We're going to do our best to rejuvenate by makeover time. And
We'll get there.
yeah.
We'll eat a sandwich. We'll take a nap. It'll be fine.
Eat a sandwich, take a nap, eat a Snickers. And yeah, so thank you for sticking with us tonight. Sorry it was a bit disorganized.
Thank you.
Thanks. We've just been called beautiful in the
We
Q&A
take
chat.
bribery, we take compliments.
Yes.
It
Hey,
fuels our souls.
that is another thing. Hey, Molly.
Yes.
If someone wants to put a smile on your face, what's your favorite snack, drink, little gifty gift that someone could give you over at the show office?
I take smiles and bribery in the form of Diet Coke and gummies, preferably sour.
Diet Coke and sour gummies or regular gummies.
Yeah.
I would echo that. Diet Coke and sour gummies. I have less dietary restrictions, so I will also take Cheez-Its. And I will take alcohol. Bourbon, love me some bourbon, love me some bubbly anything. Not very picky. Just don't show up with gin. Just don't show up with gin, please. Yeah, but like if you guys bring us a little gifty gift, like we're suckers, okay? It'll work on us. It'll make our day. All right. Well, with that, I think we're done. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Hope you have a wonderful night. And if you have any questions or concerns, just send us an email, secretary@brp.org, or starting next Saturday, you can text Miss Molly.
Get up my line.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night.